Hello everyone, Srini here again. Today we'll talk about what is Activate and also how it is a key for your S4hana success. Let's get started. An introduction about me. I'm Srini. I have expertise in focus build and an agile, and as synergetic, I'm responsible for solution delivery and architecture. So what is Activate? Activate is SAP's way of implementing any SAP product. So it's an agile based methodology which you can leverage it as a framework or as well as a set of processes which you can just absorb them into your project and implement them. If you have to categorize what's in Activate, you can come up with three different categories. One is the methodology, and other one is best practices. The third one is accelerators. So methodology is basically a proven set of practices, basically agile and lean thinking. What you should do in what phase, kind of thing, or the ideology actually is the methodology. So it's basically lean and agile, and with that comes also a link to best practices. When I say a link to best practices, what I mean is that the methodology helps you to consume best practices. It's tailored in a way for you to do that. So, what are best practices? Best practices are industry proven business processes which you can very easily consume in an SAP implementation via activation. So, those are best practices. Best practice means that you don't have to discover and design a business process for your company. You can just leverage a business process which has been proven to function for your industry, take that and just activate that. So that's a use of best practice. And there's also another way of doing it where you take a best practice as a starting point and you modify it to fit your unique business needs. Every business has some unique business needs. Your business exists because it is doing something unique, it's creating some unique value. So you might have a business process which doesn't fit under best practice and you want to perhaps modify that. So that's one another way of leveraging a best practice. Both are acceptable, both are recommended, both reduce the risk significantly compared to designing a business process from scratch. So the first aspect is methodology or the framework or the ideology of the whole Activate. And the core is agile and lean. And second comes the best practices. And the third comes the accelerators. Accelerators are basically artifacts and help in certain cases. So you'll be able to use those to jumpstart a process in Activate methodology. Accelerators are very helpful so that you don't have to develop something from scratch. For instance, take a test case. You'll be able to leverage a test case given for best practice if you're implementing a best practice directly, or you'll be able to take that and make modifications if you modify the best practice to fit your business needs. So that those are accelerators. So basically, those are the three broad categories: the methodology, the best practice, and accelerators. These are the three things which comprise the Activate methodology. Now let's talk about what Activate can mean to your organization. There are many advantages of Activate, but I believe the most important thing is to help in consuming best practice. Whether your organization fits for a best practice or not, you will significantly reduce risk in your implementation by using best practice as a starting point. Because every organization does a lot of things which will be in parallel to best practice. There could be some differences here and there. So you will be able to leverage best practices. It may not be completely, but definitely to some extent. So using that as a starting point, you don't lose anything. You rather gain a lot, actually. And second most important thing I want to talk about is it's a proven method to implement SAP. Don't discover a new way of implementing SAP. And third thing, it has the standard activities. What it means that it has just what is enough, just the activities which are enough to implement SAP. So you don't want to do anything more or less. So just what you need to do to implement SAP. And so the activities are divided into like work streams per phase and all that. We'll go over that in a second. So the last and foremost thing is very important because it is standardized, because it is proven, because it's also helping you to consume best practices. All these put together will lower the risk in SAP implementation. So without Activate, you're taking a lot of risk because S4hana is complex. It has a lot of rich functionality. Your organization will be able to innovate effectively with S4hana, but to implement that, you want to have tools and methodologies and practices which will lower your risk. And one of them is Activate. So let's go more deep into it. So Activate, the methodology is divided into 4 phases: prepare, explore, realize, deploy. Prepare is when you prepare for the project. Explore is when you explore best practices. You design your business process, recommended based on best practices. If not, you design a business process if that's what you need for the your organization. By end of explore phase, you want to have an approved backlog which consists of fits, gaps, resets, and you take that backlog and implement that in realization phase in time-bound sprints. Do the user acceptance testing, do all the regression testing and all that, and um, get ready for deployment. Do the cutover and deploy the solution. That's what you're going to do in these 4 phases in the Activate methodology. And you can divide your whole release into like waves or however you want, which is convenient for you. An incremental solution could be more effective because you'll be able to do more testing and have the opportunity to improve it. Like if you want to divide the whole realization into multiple waves, it could give better quality, but it may not be possible all the time. Now, either way, you still have a lot of interaction with customer created by Activate processes. The methodology creates this interaction, being agile, being lean, and all that. And since the customer and IT or the business and IT is considered as one team, you have to leverage all these interaction points to continuously improve the solution. Let me explain what I mean. First is workshops where you identify gaps and best practices. So work with the business to capture all the gaps and maybe, or I recommend that you enable business with focus build tool so that they'll be able to work with requirements for you. So business can work with requirements, capture priority, value, and all the information. So get the backlog ready by working with the business and enable them with focus build tools so that this process happens more quickly and more efficiently. And throughout the implementation process, whether it's show and tell or the single function test, you work with the business so that you continuously improve the solution throughout the process. So use the interaction to continuously improve the solution. That's what I mean. That's the key here. So with all these interaction points, you'll be able to have a solution which is well tested and well improved. All this will reduce the risk in the implementation. Basically, a kind of agile philosophy baked into the Activate methodology. Basically, agile is embedded into Activate in this way. The continuous improvement is the one of the important things from agile actually. So let's go to the next slide now. Now, Activate as a methodology and a proven way to implement SAP, it's good, it's definitely great, but without the tool, you will have difficulty in absorbing it. The transition could be difficult. If your organization is currently using some of the methodology, they may have hard time in absorbing it. By using focus build tool, you'll be able to implement activate in a very easy way. So when you implement focus build, you automatically implement activate methodology. You don't have to do anything more. Focus build, workflow, the whole process of requirements to deploy, starting with the requirement and all the way up till you deploy a work item or and the work package, all the methodology is activate. Focus build project plan itself is activate project plan. It has everything you need to implement activate. So use activate and focus build together so that the tool will do the job for you. Not only the methodology and implementing the activate, focus build will do the work for you all the way using the workflow. So that's the advantage of focus build. Just activate out there. Yes, it is agnostic of tools. You'll be able to use it without focus build also, but it could be difficult to make the transition to activate without having a tool in hand. So that's the importance of the combination of activate and focus build, which I want to explain today. Now, without much delay, let's go and take the demo of what activate is. So activate methodology information, actually it's available online. You'll be able to just go ahead and take a look at it. Click the link I gave you. So you don't need the user account to log in. Just say access anonymously. Go in, explore roadmaps. You can choose whichever methodology you want to look at. It's a cloud or it's on-premise. If you want to choose on-premise, this is the S4hana roadmap. You come here, this overview. There's good information if you want to read, and perhaps when you download the content, you get some of these. So you go to the content. That's when the action information is there. What the content is, basically the processes, the things you need to do to implement SAP. That is what the content is. So let us say in Explore, you want to know what's in the application design and configuration. So these are all the processes at the high level. When you when you go down and look in, it says make yourself familiar with fit and standard. So this could be just like a team working together to understand what we should do in a fit to standard workshop. This could be identified as one task for you in your project plan, and there's an accelerator over here. So um, let's click and see what the accelerator is. So the accelerator will let you jumpstart this activity. That's the purpose of it. So here's an accelerator which is telling you how to approach a fit to standard analysis. So use it wherever it fits you. So that is how you'll be able to leverage the activate methodology. So identifying activities and taking them into your project. So now if you want to download the project plan for activate, it's very easy. If you click on this down arrow, you'll be able to get the project plan. So you have to give some information, and just say download. So it will download it for you. So this is the project plan. This is all the information they have and a couple of PDFs. But if you want to see in an Excel format, this is the project plan. So basically, it has the description of activities, which you can rephrase it or take some of the information from here and put it in a project plan in a way that you can assign teams to it and make deliverables out of them. Let's take, for example, create a 360-degree view of security. So it's like a like a document, to explain what's in S4hana from a security point of view, making a team familiar with what's coming from a security point of view. Carefully examine it and take all the relevant content from here and put in your project plan. So this is one way of leveraging Activate content. So the list of activities for implementing SAP is already out there for you. But if there is something else which is not listed in the Activate processes, but you need to do for your implementation, go ahead and include that into your project plan and plan your activities accordingly. Thanks everyone for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.